Let's bring our panelists in. Trump 2016 foreign policy advisor, Newsmax contributor George Papadopoulos. We have Republican strategist Taya Nelson and former White House senior advisor Paul Chabot. Good to see everyone here. I'll start with George Papadopoulos, if I can here. A list that is circulating. One at the top there, Michelle Childs, as she's got some, essentially an endorsement from Chairman Graham. She's a University of South Carolina grad. She has been to public schools versus private, may have a different perspective there. George, what would be the strategy of Republicans at this point to support a potential Biden nominee on the Supreme Court?
Well, let's look at what the American public is thinking about this very sacred process, which Joe Biden is already putting his finger on, and that is that they really wanted him to consider all potential nominees and not just those who just happen to be born a specific color or a particular gender. And I think when you look at the bigger picture of our judicial branch of government, Lady Justice is often depicted as wearing a blindfold or being blind. And what that blindfold is supposed to represent is the fair and equal application of the law, one in which you disregard political affiliation, wealth, or skin color. And in this case, when you have people like Senator Graham publicly endorsing an individual before they've even entered the nomination process, it's quite absurd. And it really, I think, feeds a perception that this individual is not going to be appointed to this very sacred position for their ability to interpret the Constitution and apply the law equally and fairly, but as a potential tool of either the Democrat or the establishment of Republican Party. And I think that's an injustice to the individual and to the country as itself.
Paul Chabot, you know, one of the polls that we've seen recently is that many want this president to choose all candidates or consider all candidates versus just a certain gender and a certain race. Tulsi Gabbard tweeted out about this, the former, and that's the poll, by the way, 76% of Americans, according to ABC News and Ipsos polling here conducted just a few days ago, they want the president to consider all possible nominees. Then Tulsi tweets this out. Biden chose Harris as his VP because of the color of her skin and sex, not qualification. She's been a disaster. Now he promises to choose Supreme Court nominee on the same criteria. Identity politics is destroying our country. Paul Chabot, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, Tulsi nailed it. I feel like I'm living in this nightmare right now in our country. And so we should be selecting our Supreme Court justices, or anybody for that matter, the exact same way we raise our kids. And look, for the Biden administration to continue to push race, if I was Ms. Childs, whether she's a great candidate or not, you want her in her mind to know that she's being selected based on her character and qualifications, not her color. And also the Supreme Court's taking up 2 affirmative action cases, which right now the makeup of the court was likely going to strike those down as well. Lindsey Graham has signaled pretty loudly here early on that there appears to be support for her, at least from him in a leadership position. But we need to hear all plays out. But again, I'm just shocked that we are picking people, elevating them based on race. That has no place in America.